Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV back with another video. This is the first of two videos that I'm planning on dropping today. We are here with the review of the 6th episode of the show's 6th season. This is the 71st overall episode of the series. We have Live Free or Die. So, pretty interesting stuff here. There's some huge revelations. There's word going around. Pretty crazy rumor that, is true, but yeah, we get a couple new characters. There's quite a bit that happens here. So it should get really interesting, and this creates a really interesting storyline, for this 6th season, the 6th and final season, something that's going to turn the show on its head. So we're going to get into what happened, kind of have a little bit of a discussion, and I got to get going on some homework and stuff, so here we go. So Christopher reports to Tony and his crew that Vito has been spotted in a gay club. So he was told this by other people that he knows that kind of work for him, because he's a capo now. Obviously, he has people that work for him and talk to him about things. So Meadow reveals to Carmela that Finn witnessed Vito performing oral sex on a security guard. So it's pretty much confirmed at this point that Vito is homosexual. So it creates a really awkward, really weird environment now. It's like, oh, I kissed that man on the cheek. And that was the Italian greeting. But as a result, Finn is taken by Tony to the back room of Satriale's, where, very frightened, he is made to repeat the story for the crew. He doesn't want to rat someone out. He doesn't want to expose someone, especially someone that's a part of the mafia. He's super scared. He's super paranoid about what might happen to him if Vito finds this out. But, they're assuring him, they're promising him, like, Vito won't be around anymore. He's not going to be talking to us. We don't mess with him anymore. So the main reaction is disgust and anger. Carlo says they should put him down for the honor of the family. Like, yeah, all this time he's been living a lie and, has this wife and kids, and that's a lie. No wonder he doesn't have sex with his Gumar or his wife. They realize things. Yeah, obviously there's a lot of disgust. There's a lot of homophobia in like crime organizations like this. So Tony, despite everything, is hesitant to kill Vito because this is a top earner, this is a valuable guy, this is a really good friend of his, and he's not really sure what to do. He's kind of in some sort of moral dilemma here. So, as he tells Dr. Melfi, he abhors homosexuality and is a strict Catholic, but he doesn't mind what happens between consenting adults. And he cares about Vito as a friend and an earner. So there's kind of two sides of the spectrum. Like, he's kind of looking at this from both angles. Like, yeah, I don't like gay people. I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic. We don't mess with homosexuality. But at the same time, really good friend. Yeah. I had a second chance, he says. Why shouldn't he? And that's a really interesting way to look at it. And it's really kind of showed Tony matures. His character kind of mature. So, Benny, Dante Greco, and Terry Doria visit Vito and his mistress at a beach house on the Jersey Shore, where he's been lying low. Obviously, he knows now that this rumor is going to be floating around, because this is a pretty big deal. This isn't something you just see him at a gay club. It's like, oh, that's funny. It's like, no, we gotta tell everyone about this, because this is kind of wild. So, they try to escort him to see Tony, but he speeds away. He does not want to talk to Tony. That is the last person he wants to talk to right now. Vito returns home later that night, kisses his sleeping children, packs some keepsakes, necessities, and cash, and drives off into a stormy night. Pretty much running away from home, doesn't want to be seen around New Jersey anymore. So, yeah. So he's out of there. So after his car hits a downed tree branch, he proceeds on foot and finds himself stranded in a small town in New Hampshire. So he walks a little journey in the rain, which is kind of fucked up. You kind of feel bad for the guy, because it doesn't seem like he has a choice. He's probably going to get fucking killed if they ever see him again. Exhausted, he checks into an inn. There's this bed and breakfast right at the edge of town. Vito has cousins in New Hampshire but cannot find them. So he has connections he could possibly lie low and live with, but there's no records of them popping up. So he stays in the pleasant town, comfortable in its friendly, open-minded ambience, whatever you call it. So he's kind of found a home here. He's going to start a new life here. I think that's pretty good for him to kind of lie low and not have to worry about getting executed, whacked, whatever. But Meadow starts an internship at a law firm handling white-collar crimes, although she is also working as a volunteer in a law center. So now she has taken up 2 jobs, so she's kind of putting it on her resume. In an argumentative conversation with Finn, she contrasts the soft treatment of white-collar criminals with the harsh treatment of others. For example, the humiliation of Johnny at his daughter's wedding. So now that when you work in law and when you kind of get introduced to the people and the culture and the mannerisms and the etiquette of, being in law, you kind of have sympathy for people no matter what they've done, and that's kind of like the whole point of law. We protect everyone, we give everyone a second chance. Doesn't matter what you did, you could literally cause 9/11 and we're still gonna give you a second chance. Like, that's just kind of how they roll over there, which I'm not a huge fan of. But yeah, obviously she's super like prideful about this stuff. She's super passionate about it now that she's actually like working in law. So Finn challenges her values and notes her hypocrisy. Tony's crew is going to punish Vito for his sexual orientation, and that's the family she's a part of. She storms out. She's very upset, very offended by that, obviously. She doesn't even want to be associated with those people half the time. So Carmela is still pressuring Tony to get permission from the building inspector to move forward with her spec house, which he seems to keep forgetting. He has a lot of things to do. He is a mob boss. Like, you gotta give this guy a break a little bit. She is appalled to find that Hugh has been selling materials salvaged from the construction site, which is kind of fucking funny, to be honest. He's taking locks, he's taking, like, wood pallets and wood planks and nails and stuff, selling them for his own profit, pretty much. So Carmela also discovers that Angie Bompancero has secretly branched out into business with members of the crime family, putting money up for street loans and buying stolen car parts. So she used to have a legit business with the auto body shop and actually like wanted to genuinely live a life, like a good life, but now she's being super unfaithful to that. And now she is doing illegal things for them, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, Pussy Bompancero is not bringing the money anymore, obviously. So, Tony informs Chris that 2 Italian hitmen will be sent over to the U.S. to kill Rusty, and tells him to hire a third party to equip them with weapons and act as an intermediary between the assassins and the Soprano family. So they got this all planned out. They don't want to be under any fire of this. So, yeah. So Chris gives the task to Corky Caporali, a Soprano family associate who speaks Italian, and pays him in heroin. This is like this guy that like works at this random place out in the middle of nowhere or something. I don't know who this guy is. He's a new guy, new characters, which is always fun, always cool. But yeah, Corky Caporali is a new one. A DeMio crime family associate and a heroin addict who is tasked with serving as the third-party intermediary between Christopher Moltisanti and the Italian hitman coming to murder Rusty Melio. Then we meet Jim Witowski, who's owner of a local diner at Datford, New Hampshire, the town where Vito has taken refuge, and now more and more as we get introduced to kind of Vito's side of the storyline. We're going to meet people in New Hampshire, I guess. And it kind of reminds me of like Dexter moving out of Miami in a way. It kind of reminds me of that type of vibe. And it's funny because Walter White went to New Hampshire at a point when he was on the run. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. It's going to be really interesting to see how Vito's story kind of fleshes out here. The group, the crime family, what they're going to do about him. Are they going to go pursue him, or they're just going to go let him live his own life? There's not too many other things. Like, Vito has a lot of spotlight now that we found out that he's a homosexual. But yeah, I'm out. I'm going to go to this club game here in less than an hour for our women's at our school. I got to get some homework done before then, so yeah.